Yes, people, welcome back to Lion in the Room. I'm your host, Leo Edoche, and I got my brothers with me, man like K, and I got my boy Oge as well, man. We got a lovely episode for you guys today, so let's just get straight into it. People, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you are enjoying our content, please pass it on to the next man, just so that we can keep spreading the message. And hey, people, let's get into it. But boys, chat to me. How have you guys been? Oge, we'll start with you.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I thank God. And I'm still working, you know. Big thing. I was in you know how Nike have just released the new female football kits for Nigeria,
The
for
women's jerseys.
the women's jerseys, yeah.
What, like for the upcoming World Cup or something?
Yeah, I think it's Euros, but yeah,
Euros.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, okay, we'll go carry on.
So I was lucky enough to be in the promo that was back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can't see me, but I was in that.
Well, like an extra or?
Yeah. They filled like a whole, like they made it like it was like a half a stadium basically. Like it was big. Like they did a lot. It was about 800 people.
That's nice.
nice.
So, like, what's it like when you're an extra? I mean, like, yeah, cool. You're not the most glamorous position on the set, but how do they handle what you guys are doing? Are they forcing you guys? Are they pushing you guys more? Or is it?
The irony is, if anyone ever tells you about like an extra job, right?
Yeah.
They have to show up at stupid hours in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, they have to be on set from like 7 a.m. You don't shoot anything until like 4 p.m.
So wait, are you just like chilling?
You literally are just put aside. And my theory is it's because we're the most important and expendable people
At the same time.
because they need us there to fill the space.
Yeah.
But it's also like we don't want to have to worry about where you are or what you're doing.
So
and all that
just
stuff.
be
So
there.
you just got to be there, just so that we don't have to think of about you.
Do you at least get like food and drinks?
Yeah. There's food. The food was all right.
I mean, then
yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Man. Just
Yeah, but like what, confectionaries, like, you know, those things you see in cartoons, the bread and the little pickle or the olive on
it was good. It was Nike, so they give us.
Nice, he gave you good food?
Yeah, it was good food. It was one of the higher ends of food that I've had on set before.
Okay.
like a slice of pizza. Or
No, it was like
That sounds like an office party.
yeah, that was
yeah, I mean,
slice of pizza.
but like if you're there from like 7 till 7, it kind of is like an office party. So at least get some pizza or something.
How many slices of pizza you get?
Yeah, exactly.
Bro,
You steal the whole box, don't you?
yeah, pretty much.
Let me see that. Let me see that. That's good.
Nah, that's crazy, man.
That's
That's
paid to a
crazy.
T. Let me see that. What are you eating?
No, it's not even. They just give it to me. It was like
Because they know the deal.
just like yeah, like I just have domain over food.
What was it like when you went to your first office party? Like, how
Okay.
did you let people know that, yeah, you know, I'm the captain. This is how I do my stuff.
I just went to the box. I took 6 slices and I sat down at my desk, continued working and eating 6 pizzas. And then they were like, "Oh, Kola, we have 2 boxes worth of pizzas, 3 garlic bread boxes as well, and some chocolate muffins. Do you want everything?" I said yes.
They said
everything.
everything.
And I took everything home and ate everything.
Not in one go.
No, not in one go.
Okay, I was gonna say I
Maybe
was,
like
I was
3.
about to fear for you.
I wouldn't be
Two-
surprised if you
5
did it in
days.
one go, man.
So 3 to 5 days. So they fed you for a week.
Yeah, pretty much. It was
That's
quite nice.
crazy.
You kept pizza for 3 to 5 days.
I mean,
Fridge,
it was a lot.
Fridge.
It was a lot. I had to take it all out of the boxes, pack them into stuff, and put it all. It was quite a lot.
Okay.
A lot. So I took everything. I was walking on the street and people were like, "Oh yeah, do you want it?" I was like, no. Like, do you want the shit? No.
Wow. Well, aside from that, bro, you've been good. Things have been okay.
Yeah,
man.
things have been fine. Just been a bit hectic this week. This week was incredibly hectic. Switches, change ups, but we're good.
You must have had something positive though. Something positive to share.
Let me see. I ranked up in my games. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Hey,
Cool.
hey.
He's an avid gamer. Bro,
Yeah,
so
a win
that's
is a
normal.
win. That's
normal.
crazy. How about you, Leo?
Me personally, bro. Oh my days. yeah, you guys put me on the spot. I woke up, bro. I don't know.
Look, he woke up and he confirmed he was still alive. So
Like every day I wake up and it's a nice opportunity to be grateful. I'm not gonna turn this into a whole religious, faithful kind of thing, but I will. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Aside from that, I'm happy with the way. My skincare. My skincare is going pretty well.
Okay.
My skincare is going pretty well because you know, you're growing a beard, you don't normally worry about what's under the beard. You know, when you haven't like learned properly how to groom. So I'm doing all of that. I'm like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna shave my beard. I'm gonna shave it off and I'm gonna, you know, grow it whenever.
Join the goatee guy.
Yeah. I will take my presidency. Well, you guys aren't ready for that discussion right now. But I decided to shave it and I realized, bro, I got bumps. I still have like an ingrown hair on the side. I didn't even know. I thought it was like a boil, but my mom was like, it's an ingrown hair. So I'm like, okay, cool, thank God. And I started using this product called Eucerin on my face, and it just kind of giving me back my glow. You started, come on, you see it. I don't need to talk too much, people. I'm happy, I'm grateful for life, and I'm grateful for the skincare, because at the end of the day, as men, you know, sometimes it's not the discussion that we have.
Yeah.
But skincare is still
it's important. Yeah.
Everywhere you go, because in the last episode that we had, I spoke about personal value and things like that, and the way you present yourself is very important. And it's still important to you because it makes you feel comfortable. Like, we've all had moments where you smell your armpit and you're like, damn, I should have taken that shower last night or something like that after the game, after going to the gym, whatever. It's the truth, bro. You're waking up in the morning, so there's no shame.
Yeah, true.
But it's worse when you just wash your face and you just head out and it's like, oh yeah, no, I was rushing. But you realize that hygiene is still very important.
I'd rather be late,
You'd rather be late?
I'd rather be late.
Look, I'd rather be late and come
And
looking
smelling
fresh,
and
dapper,
feeling,
smelling
exactly.
nice. At least the people will be like, okay, he was late, but he's looking clean.
Exactly.
Or them to be coming in, oh yeah, I'm early, bright and early, but I stink as shit. You know? They'll be like, you might as well just go back home.
For real.
Funny enough though, your boss ain't gonna hear it. You're gonna sit down there, man. But people, like we said, we'll be getting into the first segment. Keep on with us. Yes, people. Now, like I was saying, my boys, we are now in the first segment. Okay, we've had you on before, 2 times before.
2 times.
Happy to have you here again.
Thank you. Here for the 3D.
We like to use this opportunity to get to know how your work is coming, how your career is going. But first, I got a question. You know method acting, right?
Yes.
Great. Cool. So my question to you now is, how is method acting compared to other acting techniques? And what are its pros and cons? What's so great about it? And what are the negative traits?
Okay, so method acting is actually considered very dangerous because of, you've heard of examples like
what's that guy's name?
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, exactly.
As the Joker.
Why is it so dangerous?
So, okay, let me explain method acting. So method acting is basically immersing your whole self, mind, body, everything into a character. And that means, like, for example, for Heath Ledger, getting ready for the Joker, for technically the Dark Knight, but to the character of the Joker, he locked himself in a motel for a month.
Okay.
As in, that's it. No human contact. Just him and a notebook that he was writing in. That's
things
it.
That he likes, things that he finds funny.
Yeah, that was it. He locked himself in there for a month.
Wow.
That's now. It might sound like it was all right, but that being on your own for a month is detrimental to your mental health.
It doesn't sound all right, bro. Yeah, so it's like solitary confinement.
Exactly.
Lights in your window.
Yeah, and it's. That's why it can be very dangerous depending on the character you're playing. Like if you're a family man and you want to get into you want to do method acting for as a technique to get into a character that's a family man who goes through this drama. Okay, that's fine. You will try and get the circumstances that you can and involve yourself as much as possible in that character. But then when you think of Christian Bale playing his character in Deus Ex Machina or whatever, where he lost like every kind of muscle mass. He was basically a skeleton.
Yeah,
that's part of method acting because his character didn't. What was it? He was living off like an apple a day or something like that. That was it for a good amount, like a long time. That's not good for your body.
Yeah.
That's not good for you at all.
That reminds me, 50 Cent as well.
50
bro,
Cent, yeah,
he
50
did
Cent
it
did it.
as well.
But
transformation.
I think that was more dedication to the role, not method acting.
Okay.
So dedication to the role is something that I normally do.
Yeah.
Where, if I play somebody that's a bodybuilder, like Jonathan
You
Majors,
start working out.
you start working out like a bodybuilder. You start, living like a bodybuilder, so that you can actually come to the
Doing what's like necessary.
That's dedication to the role.
Yeah.
Whereas Christian Bale, on the other hand, where he
just basically starved himself.
He starved himself for it. That's not.
Isn't that dedication? But like, I guess
unhealthy dedication. It's healthy dedication and unhealthy dedication.
That's basically where method acting comes from, because it's not only just that. There's also the psychological implications of method acting.
Yeah.
So, say for example, if you've been cast to act a biography of another actor, some people will almost psychologically put themselves in a place to where they think they are the person.
They are the parent.
So what happens is, even after the scenes are over, they still struggle. So usually what method actors do is, when they do a project, they would take some time off, months. It can go up to years, where they're just like recovering, rather than, because it's very dangerous to do method acting in one role then go straight into another.
Even Leonardo da Vinci, he had to do that method acting for Django Unchained. No,
DiCaprio.
Yeah, sorry, Leonardo DiCaprio. Thank you. No. You have to make that. You make that mistake.
Yeah,
cool. Appreciate the correction.
I realized I whispered and it didn't work.
Whispered, thinking like, it's not going to be it. Well, Leonardo DiCaprio, obviously acting in Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx came up with that interview talking about how he was using the N-word offset and things like that, bro. And it was really super immersed, bro. Super immersed. I don't know how I'd feel if I got someone calling me
just N-word,
constantly
all
at the end of every sentence.
Yeah, what's up, N-word?
Oh,
it's
you gotta tell yourself it's just acting, man.
Yeah,
it's just dedication.
I think so. Another what Kola was touching upon, which is the main difference between method acting and dedication, is the method actors, they don't ever stop.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
So even like they're offset, they're
even
still in
between scenes, everything, because filming a movie goes 6 months to a year. It takes a long time. So during that 6 months, you as an actor, you respond as, oh, my name is the Joker. You can't call me anything else.
Yeah, so they will call them by the name.
By the name.
Even offset, even with like they just turned up. Like they're not even acting.
Joker in 5.
Yeah, Joker in 5. Oh, Joker, where are you? Like things like that. So they will not respond if someone calls them by their real name.
And you just hear some maniacal laughter. Like,
yes.
Yeah. I'm right here.
Yeah.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Exactly. Pretty much.
They'd be scaring. They've had so many different actors that were so immersed into these roles that they scared like their other cast members as well.
Even worse, like what's his name? That guy that played the newer Joker,
Jared Leto.
Yeah, he sent presents to all of the
of dead animals.
Yeah, of dead animals to all of the cast.
That's a weird thing to do.
That's a
very weird thing to do.
That's so weird.
So exactly, once again, that's where the difference between method acting and dedication lies. Because with dedication, you still stop. Then you'll be like, okay, my name is whatever my name is. I'm going home now. Nice job at work, everybody. But with method acting, it's the role you are acting as that is going home.
That's you now.
Yeah, that's who you are for the next 6 months to a year.
Okay.
So that's where the struggles now come in, when they're like, okay, it's done. You're not that person.
Damn. You really see how talented some people can be. Like the opportunities that they have, being able to take it and show out. It's like an athlete. You train every day. You come out there, it's like, muscle memory, and you have remembered every single technique. And you know what beats what and what you need to overcome the rest of those things,
Yeah.
With an actor, it's like, when to put that switch off, but how do you put this switch off when you really just become
it's hard. It's hard. Even
crazy.
Michael B. Jordan said it as well. Like after playing Killmonger, it took him a little bit of time
to actually
to
like,
change
yeah,
their mindset.
understand what he was doing.
Yeah, because especially Killmonger as well. Killmonger was actually like a sympathetic villain. Like when you go through what he went through, like you can understand why he became who he became as Killmonger.
Yeah.
So for someone like Michael B. Jordan playing that character, it's kind of like it's kind of hard not to see Killmonger's point of view anymore. You get me?
Okay. All right, cool, bro. Next question. What are the common challenges that actors face when they have to transition from the stage to the screen, or from the screen to the stage?
The biggest change is you're not as big anymore.
You're not as big anymore.
You're not as big anymore. Like I'll do it for the audience, right? For example,
go ahead.
You're watching this on the screen, and let me actually do it for my own camera. You're watching this on the screen. This is made for me, and I'm not doing as many, like you guys know me. I'm a very big and energetic person.
Yeah.
So when I'm speaking, it's kind of just like I'm here just talking. But if I'm talking to you while we're off these cameras, you'll see me waving my hands about, doing this, having big expressions and everything. That's because I was trained in theater. So that's the biggest change, where it's you have to minimalize everything but still keep everything. Like the acting doesn't change. You just have to be able to show that you're happy without overdoing it. You know what I mean? Like, and then another thing is the amount of it's the what's it called? How do I put this? The weight, the responsibility of, okay, on theater you have this night, you do this every single night for 3 months in a row.
Yeah.
And every single night you have to know all of your lines. You have to know that this comes after this, and then this comes after this, and then this comes after this, and that's it. Whereas with film, you're not shooting in chronological order. It just never happens.
You shoot multiple
like someday you're on location, you're in Oxford Road, and you have one scene at the start and one scene at the end, and you've only got Oxford Road for 2 days. All right, cool. You're gonna shoot the start and the end in those 2 days.
Yeah.
And then next day you're gonna shoot like 3/4 of the way in, and then you're gonna shoot another scene that's the next day, that is the scene after the start of the, like, it's never in chronological order.
Yeah.
While on a stage you can do everything.
Everything is just, okay, after they've done this, then I need to remember my line, and it's this line.
Okay.
But then there's also the faulting of, okay, you can't mess up. You cannot mess up, because you saying your line is the trigger for somebody else saying their line, and then somebody else saying their line, and then for this now big thing for the audience to understand what's happened. Whereas on screen, it's kind of like, okay, if you mess up your line, sorry, cut.
But in theater, they're watching you live.
Watching you live. You messed up in front of 1,000 people.
Oh, that's true. So there's only one take.
There's only one take.
If any of the 1,000 people are like me, if I detect a mess up, I will have to walk out and ask for a refund.
Really? Oh,
yep. Just to put more pressure on
me. I'd be kind of embarrassed to ask for refunds, depending on particular things.
On the context.
Like a stage play, I'd be a bit embarrassed. I've gotten up, everyone's seen me get up, I've walked out there. Yo. Yeah, no. I need a refund.
I need that money back now.
What is this? What is this?
Give me the money back.
No, I need a refund immediately.
How much drama? Give me my refund.
No, it's like, I'm sorry, sir. It's a play. It's a sold out play.
This is not the professional standard. Exactly.
I'll show you a play. You don't see some drama today, boy.
Exactly.
Oh,
it's not the professional standard I expected. I am thoroughly disappointed. I need a refund immediately.
Yeah, and get in front of a stage, bro. Get in front of a crowd.
Well, I never said I was.
Get in front of a crowd.
If we had to, I'm gonna put that out there. I'd do like an opera. You know, that crazy stuff right here. I'd do that.
To be fair, I think I'd actually want to see like a just sit there straight face and just like, yeah, light work, no reaction.
Well, what would you do? What would you do?
I'll play
Romeo and Juliet.
I'll do Peter Pan.
So you be leading all them children. You know the Peter Pan play is worse than
that's
Oh,
you
it's
see,
Disney.
you see that's why I wanted to make the definition. The Peter Pan play, the way it actually goes, is the lost boys or the children. They're never the same because each time they grow up, he kills them.
Yeah.
And he gets a new set of
Peter
children.
Pan is the bad guy.
So some people, I'm not sure, some people theorize that, what's the guy's name? Captain
Captain
Hook?
Hook. He's the good guy.
Is a
He's
kid-
the good guy.
Is a kid that somehow managed to escape and grow up. So he's trying to save the kids and all that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what they're theorizing. Like he's actually one of
the
lost
yeah.
kids who actually escaped and managed to grow up. So he's trying to rescue the kids.
A lot of these fairy tales, man,
They are dark
those
twists.
main characters, they went through something.
Yeah,
They went through something.
It's just Disney came and let's just tone it down a bit. But like it's actually really dark.
I just realized what you were doing. I didn't clock. I was like, what are you doing?
My name is Leroy Dolce and you're watching Disney Channel.
Oh, that thing.
Well, Mickey Mouse got stung by a bee.
Bro.
I remember when I first read the original version of The Little Mermaid, like the actual Little Mermaid.
I've never read
You
it.
know how it ends is, I think Ursula the Witch
Yeah.
actually successfully replaces her
Oh,
as with the Prince Charming, because he was like, oh, where's that girl?
so what she
So-
did to
And that Little Mermaid,
Ariel? Yeah.
Ariel, has lost her ability to
Speak.
speak,
Mm-hmm.
and has also lost her Prince Charming. Bear in mind, she sacrificed her ability to have legs.
To swim in the
So what does she do? She just goes into the ocean and presumably commits suicide.
Yay.
Presumably.
Yay.
Is not. Because
Yeah, because she ain't got no gills, bro.
exactly. So
she's
the
not-
way,
she's not
because the way the
fishing.
last text goes is like she's sitting there, she sees them like the marriage.
Where did you find these lost files?
I don't know. I was a kid, man. After I saw The Little Mermaid, I was thinking, yeah,
There you see it.
I could watch it. I could read it again, only for me to see the real thing. I was like, what the?
Childhood.
Because like she sat there on the rocks, with her human legs, and saw that. She also wasn't able to. I can't remember what it was. Able to get the prince to say "I love you" within those times or something. And Ursula messed it up, took over, replaced her. The prince married another woman. And she was sitting there watching, and then she just goes back into the ocean. No mermaid gills or nothing. So yeah, that's how it ended.
Died of a broken heart.
Pretty much, probably.
And probably, drowning. But
Yeah.
maybe the broken heart. That's nicer.
That's crazy, man. Well, I'm gonna be an opera singer.
You're gonna be an opera
I'm
singer.
gonna be an opera singer. Straight up.
What would you be if we didn't ask you?
Me?
Yeah.
What would you do that you haven't done already? Because he's a tap dancer.
Yeah, I can tap dance as well.
Maybe a mime.
No.
Yes.
Just like
Big old mime. So what the hell are you doing?
What the hell? What the hell? You
These
doing?
traps.
Just
Ugh, dude.
yeah, I don't think so. I'd ask for a refund immediately.
So I actually have a question for you guys because I've been here enough times. I might as well just be an honorary host.
You're not, boy.
I know, I'm not. But as you guys know I live in Nigeria as well as here.
Yes.
Sometimes I go back and forth. But because I grew up here, I struggle to make friends over there, and I just tend to stay in my house or just help around the house and stuff. And I want to be able to make friends over there and stuff.
Yeah.
But like my main fear or my main worry is when I go there and I try and make friends, like how do I know who's actually there to be friends with me?
Yeah.
Or who's there to, when they hear my accent, my English accent, and they think
see a payday.
they see
Quick payday.
they see dreads, they see English accent, and they're like, oh,
Either he's in Yahoo or it's a payday.
Exactly.
Fair enough. I mean, like that does happen everywhere in the world, though.
Yeah.
This guy seems better off. I could probably use him, or this could be a good advantage for me to network. The thing is, like, truthfully, I think you never know until you put yourself in that area, or put yourself in that spectrum. It's like us going back to Nige, and talking to old friends from school or something.
Yeah.
If you haven't held the connections, how would you go looking for friends? Just putting yourself out there, especially when you don't know nobody. Like if I had like me now, my best friend from high school, he's in he's finished his masters, he's working there and everything now. He's literally like my outer connection to if I want to link up with people, get to know people when I get there. It's really just putting yourself out there. Now the fear of what could come if people abuse your kindness or take advantage of your position, not even knowing whether you're struggling or not when it comes to bread or lifestyle. Just keep your eyes open. You might find people that are either trying to pressure you to buy drinks. It's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. The way you see a good friend here is the same way you see a good friend there.
True.
They're not going to be making it seem as though like you are expected to treat them because your life is quote unquote better, or like, you know, you got a sweeter accent, or you sound nicer when you say crumpets and tea. But like at the end of the day,
Crumpet and tea, bruv.
I think you spoiled it.
at the end of the day, you just have to be yourself, man. Shit. Like for anybody that goes anywhere, you know, you're moving out of town, you're going to a new place, you're meeting new people, you just have to present yourself in a fashion that shows that you're one, not someone to mess about with, but at the same time, someone you can respect. And hey man, have fun. I think all those kind of things will come. But where are you in? You're in like Abuja?
Abuja,
Yeah, I think that's just the thing, really. As Leo was just saying, you have to be yourself. It will not always work every time. Sometimes you'll be yourself and people will see you're a loser.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that is just the way.
No,
I'm
not
a loser. Wait, I'll get to.
I was confused. I was like, what? What?
I'll get to the inspiring part. I'll get to the inspiring part. You just have to continue being yourself until you meet your set of people who then see this guy and it's like, yeah, that's a cool dude. You know, I want to hang out with him. Because look, there's someone for everyone, and you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Indubitably.
Exactly. So some people will see you being yourself, a genuine, friendly guy, and think this guy is a loser. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less.
I like this analogy.
Just a complete, absolute loser. Unfortunately, that will happen.
Okay.
And that's okay. Sometimes you'll be a loser to some people. But there is hope.
Okay.
There is hope.
A loser, like
No. That's what I was worried about. I was worried he was gonna.
I'm joking.
So,
But let's see.
So it's like you just have to keep until you find your people. Because honestly, I wouldn't tell you like don't act to be like someone else. Because if you try and be something you're not,
they'll see
straight through it,
Yeah.
and that'll make you even more of a loser.
Okay.
You'll be even more of a loser than a guy who is himself and is still a loser.
You can't pretend, but you're not gonna be a loser, bro. It's basically just being yourself. At the end of the day, you realize that people come in and people come out.
Yeah.
Even God said, bro, like He brings people into your lives for a season.
For a
Still takes them
season.
out.
Yeah.
So when you go out there, bro, you just keep your eyes open. You know, 4 eyes, 20/20 vision. You just come out there and you're like, yeah, cool. Because people are gonna see you. And that's the thing with life, man. The way we stress about, oh, this guy's gonna worry about my accent. Oh, this guy's probably trying to use me for money. Oh, people are also thinking that as well. People are also thinking that. So the best thing you can do for yourself is think confidently, think positively. And I would say this, you know, quote me by it, go out there thinking you're not better than everyone else, because that's what I was going to say. Go out there believing you have something to offer. You got something to prove, which makes you high commodity, you know, high value. And anybody would be happy to be around you, not just because you're all around fun guy, all-time fun guy, but you know, you're a man amongst men. That kind of thing, bro.
What's that hair commercial? You're worth it.
Yeah. So just go out.
What is that hair commercial?
I can't remember.
No one knows that.
Because you're worth it. Because it's that goes one. Because you're worth it.
Girl. Okay. Just be yourself, man.
Yeah, just be yourself. You'll find your people. When you find your people, then you'll discover you make more friends. And yeah, you just have to take that risk. Really and truly, if you feel like some people might be there to use you, it's the same thing everywhere. It's like it's the same thing here. People might try and use you, some won't. You just have to be vigilant. And yeah, that's it really.
Cool.
That's very true. That's very true. Now I got this question for the two of you in regards to diversity. I mean, we are kind of talking about some kind of diversity at the end of the day. But now this question is, what role does community engagement play in supporting diversity initiatives?
Quite frankly, the way the world works right now is the money is the way the world works. So
True.
if the community engages within diversity projects, i.e. through their wallets,
Yeah.
the corporations will respond in kind. If someone is putting something out without the goal to make money off of it, it is a passion project.
Mhm.
But most of these corporations that put stuff out on the media, they don't do it as a passion project. They do it to fill their pockets. So if you want to see things that are, if you want to see more diverse cars, more diversity in general on the screen, you must speak with your wallet, speak with your bank account, speak with money. And so with that being said, community engagement is quite important. But here's now the thing. On the flip side of it, it might not always be that important, because if a corporation wants to put something out, they will still do it. True. Regardless of whether or not
it affects their community.
Exactly. Regardless of whether it affects the community or not. Because it's like, for example, let me give an example now.
Dolce and Gabbana with the Chinese thing.
No. Not even Lululemon. You guys know Lululemon?
I don't know this term. Everybody keeps saying
it's an Asian brand, or is it American?
It's an American brand. It's just a tracksuit, really. Okay. But here's the thing. If I might be correct on this, because I know I looked at this recently. They don't have a size above, I can't remember what it is, but they do not have a wide range in terms of like size. Small, extra small, extra large. They don't have things like XXL or XL like that. They don't have it. Even though there's quite a high demand for it. Okay. They just don't have it because they just don't want to. They might not want to, but they just don't have it.
They don't have it, yeah.
Exactly. And that's just an example of like, even though there is community engagement and there is demand, they just don't. It might also to do with like the brand itself. So it's like, if the community engagement and the demand for it does not actually fit within the brand and the original core idea is lost, they might just not do it.
Okay.
Do you guys see the point I'm making?
Yeah, I get the point. Point.
Diversity initiatives, like the community plays a big role. I believe the community plays a big role, truly, because the community is made up of all of us. When you start living somewhere, truthfully, you start playing your part in society, you are a part of that community. When it comes to things like diversity, you realize that everyone has a role to play. When it comes to teaching those younger, when it comes to making available resources for people around, when it even comes to welcoming and I would say introducing people into communities, making people feel more comfortable in the places that they're staying in. Those are the things that come to my mind when, I think of that kind of engagement, because we can talk about the financial aspect, we can talk about the political aspect, but I think the first thing, I guess the first level is still going to be at that community, and you look at how the people respond to diversity. Simple thing, having new neighbors that look nothing like you, Black. Black, Hispanic, Asian, wherever it is, it could, whatever, a white man in an African country. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, the community still has a part to play in either making that the new members of the neighborhood feel comfortable or feel as though they can even embrace the culture that they are now living in.
Have you watched The Neighborhood?
No.
Show.
What's that?
The Neighborhood. It's a good show. It's a funny show. It's called Cedric the Entertainer, and have you guys seen New Girl?
New Girl.
Yeah.
No.
You calling all these shows, bro.
Bro, New Girl is good.
Damn.
New Girl's good. Like, I rewatched it like 3 times. Love it.
I'm just currently watching Snowfall.
I need to watch that as
well.
well.
I like Snowfall. They say I look like what's that guy's name?
Man Boy.
Yeah, you funny.
No, it's not. Ignore the name. No.
The brother with the afro.
Leon.
Yeah. Funny time.
You know what? I can actually see it. I can see it.
Because I ain't gonna lie.
I
was chatting to one girl one time on Hinge, and she came out like with full confidence. She's like, "Oh, you look like Leon from Snowfall, yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah. No, I get that a lot still. Never watched Snowfall in my life."
Wow.
And so I went to go check up on him, and broski, like, to me, did not look like me. When it comes to like his jaw position, his eyes, his stuff, I took it though.
No,
No. I could see it with the
I
afro.
could see
I
when
could
you said
see it.
Leon, I was like, you know what? Yeah,
Yeah, like when I just saw him.
People answer the same name.
I could see it, like in terms of just like both of them with an afro. I could definitely see it.
No,
I
it went
think
over his head. It didn't go over mine.
what?
Don't worry. Keep going.
Thank you. All I'm saying is, I think what threw me off, because initially, what threw me off was Leon is a small guy.
Yes. So we don't.
Leon's
Yeah.
pretty short.
Yeah, he's a small guy. The reason why I said man boy is because he's a tall guy and he's light skinned. Maybe that's a bit colorist of me, but who knows? No, actually, no. They have similarities. I'm going with this agenda. They have similarities.
I haven't watched Snowfall on that.
You haven't seen what man boy looks like. Okay, he's a bit lighter, but I'm going nowhere with this, man. Just ignore me, man.
Just because I'm light skinned, that's fine then. That's fine then. Oh my days, man. If you guys could do something about, I would say, the lack of diversity in your own community, how would you handle such?
When you say your own community, are you talking like, for me,
well,
acting?
let's say okay, no, not in your career field.
Oh, as in like actual,
like your community where you live type of thing?
Yeah, like where you live. So let's say we had a bit more power or an opportunity to actually make an impact, a difference on diversity or the way it's looked at, the way it's responded to as well. In this current day and age, we don't need to talk too much on what is happening, but we do know what is happening. So tell me, what do you guys think you would do?
A world fair, like if in my neighborhood, we'll do like a world fair, world foods fair. That's what I'll do.
I think,
like, I'll just go and say, look, I'll send flyers out. I'll contact people and be like, hey, look, we're gonna have Lebanese food. We're gonna have, Indian food. We're gonna have Nigerian food, Ghanaian food. All that stuff, so that people can come out and be proud of their, their heritage and stuff, just so that they could come and see this area where, a load of different people.
Just to give just some insight into different cultures.
Exactly.
I think what I was thinking was probably a bit more simplistic in regards to that. If we were looking for diversity, I'd really just say we can start with the kids. Just put it in a situation.
Children, right?
Exactly. It always starts with children. Just really put it in a situation where the children just around each other most of the time. It's like
true.
when they're just there, they'll be used to each other. If it's like this. In a lot of neighborhoods in Canada, they're very multicultural. So the kids Canada is very multicultural. Very multicultural.
Asians, Africans,
Canada is incredibly multicultural. Like, people grow up together in the same neighborhoods. So they don't even like, they don't even
understand that
the concept of diversity isn't really that. It's like, because they're already used to each other. It's like, oh, that's just that guy that lives 2 houses down. Like, what about him? And so it's like everyone also has like their own cultures where they just bring their food. So everyone's eating at each other's houses. And it's like, you already have an idea. And then boom, that's it.
Fairs.
So that's just what I was thinking of.
I liked how you mentioned that, bro. I would say one of the first things, I guess it's something to follow, is accountability.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, the children are the future. They're the way for us to really dispel this whole quote unquote diversity and racism and all these differences that cause people to act in prejudice. But what keeps it going are the people around the children today. Father A comes in from a tough day at work, he's met some Latino thugs or whatever, and he starts racially profiling them on all those chulos or
and then he starts
he's calling them names. He's calling them names. It's like the same thing, the black man, the N-word, the Asian man, the can I say
C-word,
yes.
I can't say
but we get the point.
And a little kid is hearing that. Even if they don't ask the dad what he's talking about and they have a sibling, they're probably going to be asking the sibling or talking with the sibling about it. Worse off, they don't have a sibling and they just take it into their heart and it's like, well,
and they're just internalizing
these are the kind of people. Exactly. Like that's what internalizing the hatred. And you take accountability for that first.
Yes.
Take accountability, because once you do that, you then start to understand why these spaces need to be protected.
Yeah.
Because we have our values and moral standings, so do the people that have also like lived here, whether it's 50, 100 years, whatever. But the issue that stands, the issue that causes these things to be so hard to dispel are those that want to just keep it going. They just feel comfortable
Yeah.
with that. It's like,
Yeah.
I have a question though.
of course,
In terms of trying to introduce diversity.
yeah.
So let's talk about how Disney specifically have been trying to introduce diversity.
Okay.
For
For example,
Yeah.
with the Little Mermaid movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, is it right? Because I had this whole not argument but debate with somebody at a party a few weeks ago
Yeah.
where they were very adamant on they're not racist, but they don't think it should be done like that.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, why?
Okay.
They said it's because it was written
Mhm.
for a white person.
Mhm.
I said, okay, valid. You know what? If it was written for a white person, however,
Mm-hmm.
this is a mermaid
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
doesn't exist.
Mythical creature.
Mythical creature. So why you know, and then the argument, well, not argument but debate stretched to things like James Bond.
Okay.
James Bond that is not also not real, but
Okay.
more real than a mermaid,
Mhm.
Yeah.
has been written majority, like in the majority.
In all
as a-
these incarnations
to
and
be-
casting.
not in all, by the way.
Most.
I found out that there's actually one where he is black.
Oh.
Yeah. But he was very adamant on James Bond shouldn't be black.
Mhm.
That the only one that he could accept is Idris Elba playing it.
Okay. No, he does make a
I mean, it's Idris Elba.
It's Idris Elba.
I get it.
I think I could answer this for the two of us. But okay, if you have something else to say, please go for it. I think for the Little Mermaid one, I understand the perspective this person is coming from. The approach is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. First off, the person that created the Little Mermaid, whether he was white, whether he was black, whether he was purple, depending on where he lived, he made that story based off of the culture and the ethnic dynamics in that place.
Yeah.
Cool. Now they decided to remake The Little Mermaid. We had this discussion with Jace, but it was on Snow White. And yeah. And I said that when it comes to these kind of shows, there's no issue with remaking it, but stay true to the source. And if you want to do things, you want to make movies where there is inclusion, or you want to make movies where little children feel like they can watch these shows happily, because nowadays they are in this day and age where their parents have to remind them about racism and what's going to come to their life.
Yeah.
Disney should make a film about a completely new character. They made Moana.
Thank you.
And you have Moana, who can probably speak to Hawaiians and other tribes that lived on islands and tropical places and hold onto these beliefs. You have that. I mentioned The Princess and the Frog that last time I spoke.
I love
and
that
that is a lovely depiction of New Orleans culture. Forget the voodoo, but everything else there is very interesting, you know? But the thing is that
I would love to play Dr. Facilio.
I understand them. I understand why some people would not get or would not like the new Little Mermaid, the Black Little Mermaid, or a black iteration of Beauty and the Beast, for example, or even the Romeo and Juliet play. People weren't happy with the castings.
Yeah.
But you come to realize that one, at the end of the day, this is just entertainment.
Yeah.
It's something you watch and something you probably won't watch again tomorrow.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched Snow White, and I don't need to sit down commenting and saying,
Oh, that this is
whatever I
awful.
feel about, it's terrible, blah, blah, blah. It's a movie. They are entertainers, and that's the issue with celebrities and the way you put people on pedestals. Because if you don't bother yourself about what should be, and you tell yourself, well, this is a book, I could rip the pages out and tear this, and someone else could still write, "Oh, Snow White is black."
Yeah.
And if it's bothering me so much, well, at the end of the day, people have every right to feel bothered.
Yeah,
or offended.
I think-
But it's how you handle it. It's how you handle it. I wouldn't. There's no need for a black Little Mermaid. If you want to make a black Little Mermaid, let her be unique. Let her be unique, so
Let
that
her not
there
be
won't
Ariel or
people.
something.
So that there won't be people coming out to say, well, you know, this is not how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So that you don't ruin it for the kids. Because for whatever reason they made this, I guess the kids should have probably still been in their train of thought. But I'm not too big of a fan of a black Snow White, black Little Mermaid, or a
Black
Hispanic
Annie.
Snow White, or like, don't change up the stories, because that's what people liked.
Yeah.
People liked the stories and the way it went, and I think black kids still enjoyed Snow White. Black kids still enjoyed these Disney princesses. What made it sad for them was when people told them they couldn't be these princesses.
Yeah.
So the standards are being made by other people who don't look like princesses. Make it make sense to me.
I think this is the point I'm gonna make now. So I think
Not very royal.
I know that.
I think with
Not very royal.
with creating when you do reboots and remakes of new things, of all things, a lot of the points that people make is, well, yes, the characters were originally white, they were made in that way, that's the source material, but the thing is, people forget that the times that in which these characters were made,
black people,
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So it was in a different time. Now here's the thing, I get the point. To me, it's like when I see, I'm not against remaking characters, making them black. I'm not against it at all. But when I watch some of these films, it feels a bit more disingenuous to me.
Mm-hmm. It's not
in the
honest.
sense that it's like you're not actually doing it because you genuinely want to see more black people on the screen.
You're
just
doing it for just to
you're
say
doing
that you're
it-
not. Yeah.
You're kind of doing it to just say, okay, we're one of the good guys.
Yeah.
I think like I don't have an issue with it. Like for example, when the Black Mermaid, when the what's her name again?
Ariel,
the Little Mermaid came out,
Mhm.
and it was Halle Berry that was on it. I was like, cool, that's fair.
You see, like it wasn't
like,
really an issue.
It doesn't bother me. And here's the thing, right? Like personally, I'd be like, let's just keep it to source material. Fine. Like, okay, truthfully, it was made in a very bad time, a very racist time. Fair enough. It is what it is. What we can do is one of two things. Actually, one thing probably. What we could do is let's make more original stuff.
Mhm.
I personally, for me, example, I want to see more films, animated series that are some based on like the concept of Afrofuturism, like Africa, but like as a futuristic continent mixed in with like traditions.
Didn't they make that?
They have, but they're not making enough. I need more.
They hardly making enough. Nollywood and the rest of the other African production studios are what push like content. But like what Kay is saying, sorry to cut you in, Afrofuturism is hardly ever ventured into.
It's just concept designs all the time.
You see the stories, there's Greek mythology, there's Norse mythology, there's Asian, Chinese mythology, Japanese, all of them, they all have something to say. But it seems as though African representation is not there. So I think a lot of people need to come to understand that there is little African representation and we shouldn't be asking for remakes for us to feel represented. Like there are artists that come out, they're making their own shows. There's a person I follow, he calls himself Individual. You know him, right?
I know him. I love his content.
He makes some comics, sometimes he makes prompts, sometimes he makes like relationship advice comics, all different kinds of things. They're all black characters, but that's his work and he can do that independently. But how many people are going to back him to push a production that will entice black viewers?
If he made something, I would invest in that, because he released he has comics on webtoons. I had to download. I don't use the webtoon. I only did it because I want to see stuff like that. That is, to me, that's original. I'm seeing stuff like he did a whole season, like 2 seasons of it. I'm following it. I followed the 2. He's put it on hiatus, but he said he's going to bring it back. And I told, but it's like things like that. I'm way more interested for that. Like, because to me it's like when you make stuff like that, it gives the representation of like African stuff, like mix of that. That's what I would be interested in.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with it when they do recasts, but to me it just feels a bit disingenuous and kind of soulless, like is lacking the soul.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean I then agree with people who are like, oh no, she can't be black. Because here's the thing, I'm arguing from the place of I want more original stuff.
Yes.
You're arguing because you're just racist.
Yes. Those things now, when it comes to the prejudice and the racism, it's a no. You can't go into such a battle with that form. You need to fix yourself first of all. And tell yourself that these things are fictional. But to the people, at the end of the day, you want the representation, be the representation.
Exactly.
That's the only thing. Support the people doing these things. But sometimes people don't do that, and the cycle continues. Can't let that happen. But like, to answer your question, you know, when it comes to things like that, you know, representation is always better when it's unique, when it's individual, when it's not ripped off, because they could have definitely brought in a second mermaid that could have had her own plot.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
sailing
Or even in the
area or
ocean,
whatever.
that's, you know how Nigeria is technically a coastal country.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
within
exactly.
that-
Just within that area.
It's not hard. These things are hard.
You can actually make a tropical film like that.
You could make a tropical film, something like that.
Give
And
us,
I would
give us
watch
royalties,
it.
or
I would exactly give us royalties. Like,
This is the thing.
we're giving you ideas here. If I see a film, timestamp, you got it here. But the point I'm making is, like, if I saw something like that, I would be
more
on that.
interested to
I would
watch it.
be way more interested to
Yeah,
watch, because it
interested
feels
to watch.
authentic. It feels genuine. It feels like you did your research.
Yeah.
Not just be like, okay, we're creating, like, for example, now they're apparently doing a Harry Potter remake, and they cast apparently.
Oh,
That
black
again-
guy as Harry.
I feel like, first of all, I feel like
what, that Harry Potter is black?
no,
Yeah.
Snape,
Oh,
Severus
Snape.
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 They're saying
Snape.
Papa is
but now here's the thing, right? Papa Esedu is a fantastic actor, but I'm a bit concerned because Severus Snape was a guy who used to be bullied by quite a lot of Gryffindor kids, James Potter and his friends. So when you see them, because there's one part where they hang him upside down. So if you see
Oh,
a bunch of
yeah.
white kids, it's just gonna look like
Lynching.
exactly.
Like, that's just lynching.
Why couldn't you have just gone Adam Driver? Do you know Adam Driver?
I know Adam
It is
Driver.
very true, yeah.
He looks like he just
He looks like Snape.
Because remember, what's this guy's name before he passed? The guy who acted as Snape.
I can't
He
remember.
could just pass off as like a younger version of Snape.
Yeah, no, I know. I know
Bam,
I
that's
can
it.
see the photos in my head. Yeah.
But anyways, that's just where
There needs to be a better way of representation. There definitely needs to be a better way of representation. Yes, people. As you can see, we are now in the final segment of Line in the Room. Really hope you've been enjoying this podcast today. I feel like it's gone longer than we wanted, but seems like the boys came in with their charisma at a high. But hey, this is going to be final segment, inspirational time for us to sit back and hear from these smart young men trying to inspire you and inspire some fire in themselves as well. So, Kay, to you, my bro, first question that I'm going to ask you is, what positive change would you most like to see in your community or the world?
What positive change would I most like to see
Yeah, man.
in my community or the world? I think number one positive change I would like to see is envy should just be deleted. If we can delete envy, being
jealousy.
envious, jealous, if we can delete that, we're going to remove a lot of wars. Wars have been fought because someone was jealous of what someone else had. If people could, now I understand, obviously, the world is not perfect. People's situations are not perfect. But I'm saying in an ideal scenario where everyone's situation is different, it varies, but nobody is living beyond like living in subpar means. If everyone could learn in that situation, if everyone could just, be happy with what they have and, just appreciate what they have, wherever they may be, I think honestly we'd be able to progress a lot more. People would be a lot more open, because here's the thing: when someone is jealous of someone else, they tend to be less open with themselves regarding their current situation to the person that they're jealous of.
True.
If people were just like content, people would be a lot more open, a lot more cooperative, and just a lot more willing to have an open mind.
It's true. They do start to act different though.
Exactly.
And you realize that things are not the way you wanted it to go, and you see another person having what you feel like you should have had. Even the Bible says you shouldn't covet another man's household or his wife.
Yeah.
Because you do feel as though you deserve those things. So what happens when it goes into the context of a community or a world leader?
Yeah.
Like, you're still a human being.
Like, why should you want someone else's wife?
Man, and it's like emotions running high. You really just don't know what's best. But you should know what's best, So I really like what you said, envy, being able to get rid of envy, because at the end of the day, everybody has something that's unique to them, something that's unique to them. What about you, Oge, before I ask you your own question?
I would say that compassion.
Compassion,
I want more compassion in the world, personally, because there's a thing called Sonder mentality. That's the understanding that everybody is living their own life just as you are.
Yes.
And that's, I think, if people could understand that, if people could integrate that into their daily lives, they will realize that people are they're just living their lives. They're, as in, like, sometimes you bump someone on the train or somebody's rushing somewhere and it's like, hey, where you going? Like, why? Slow down. You get angry at them, like, can't you see that I'm here? And then if you took a second,
To
just
think.
1 second, just to think what could be happening to them,
Mm-hmm.
They're
or
just trying to get to a destination.
just trying to get, exactly. Or conversely, have you not been in that same situation where you're rushing somewhere and you accidentally bump someone, or you're really angry and you don't care about who you're talking? Like, that mentality of, actually, you know what? Maybe this person has a reason to be this upset.
Yeah.
Maybe this person has a reason to not necessarily care. And then, you can go even deeper.
Yeah.
Somebody who just, callously uses or casually uses the N-word, and they turn around and they're like, what do you mean? It's just a word. What are you talking about? It's just a word. You can then take the time before you get angry, just be like, okay, you do understand this word is not for use for white people or for anyone but black people, really.
Yeah.
You understand that. If they then say yes and they're still using it, go get angry. That's fine. But if they're just like, oh, I didn't know that. That's on the mentality, that realization of this person just grew up not knowing. That's just ignorance. They didn't know. Now you've imparted wisdom, part ways.
That's nice, man. And even still, like, when it comes to these things, like, a person not being able to understand the emotions of another person, especially when you are able to see the look on their face when you have used a particular word, especially with what that word means, what it connotes. It's you would want to call it ignorance. Sometimes you want to say that person is just blatantly ignoring the truth and things like that. But I would say no need to get angry, because in life you will always meet somebody that's going to try you. You're always going to meet someone that's going to try and piss you off. It doesn't mean that person should continue using the word. But I'll give a very quick explanation before I ask you guys this question. When Jesus said that when a person slaps you, you should turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
In cultural terms, obviously, at that time, they meant a slap with the right hand. It was if the person slapped you on your right cheek, you should turn the other cheek. Now, Jesus said that because when that person slaps you, they would have to backhand you, because they can't slap your right cheek with their right hand without having to backhand you. And that's like a form of humiliation. Now, you turn the other cheek because that person can no longer backhand you with the same hand. So they must now slap you as equals. They must now slap you as equals. And because of that, they either have the choice to slap you and cause a commotion or not to slap you at all. So I'm bringing that out now to say a person may come to confront you. You may be showing compassion or empathy towards how you may want to be treated, but sometimes you realize that some people are not going to change and you just move on with your life. It's not as easy to say because of history and the way things have gone, but people are making their lives go on. People are going on with their lives, and we should no longer let a word push us to any form of revenge or violence, or even sometimes even throwing cusses at people and whatnot. At the end of the day, people change and people don't change, and we've seen that. It's evident in life. So when we show compassion and empathy, we show that in understanding to other people's lives, even when people don't show us understanding as well. All right, my people, my lovely people, thank you so much for tuning into our episode. Obviously, this is episode 29. Keep tuning in because we have a special episode. Episode 30 is going to be a lovely one. I was thinking we might call it a little break after episode 30, but we might just keep it going. Hit 50, and then we got something even more special for you guys. But just because we had a little camera cut, we're going to try and close this off really quickly. To my boys, thank you very much for being on this podcast. As always, you guys have been lovely. Your personalities are always something I love having around. But my final question now is this. What does a fulfilling life look to you? Please try to make your answers brief, but at the same time, inspire us, man.
a life with a loving wife, loving kids, no worries, no financial worries or any other worries. Even in my friends' lives and everything, like I want to be able to handle that for all of you guys, and clearly and most importantly, faith throughout all of
Amen.
that.
Nice stuff.
$75 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we need that financial stability. See, you know, the love of money is the root of all evil, but that doesn't mean having money or wanting enough money is bad.
I'm just kidding. It's just a family thing. Same as okay.
Of course, I don't know. It seems as though familial family values are these things that people still hold. Yeah, no matter what happens in this day and age, no matter what comes and goes, family is still very essential, and it brings happiness to the hearts of some. It should bring happiness to the hearts of all, but we are in the world that we are in. But this is Lion in the Room's opportunity for you guys, for us to teach you or to show you why these things are important. But to hear it from your host, truthfully, a fulfilling life is a life that you are satisfied with, a life that you have used to achieve, a life that you have used to teach. Because we had a conversation on masculinity in episode 26, and we had spoken about what it means to be a man, what masculinity means to us. And I'll quickly just point out that as a man, you know, even as a lady as well, the values and the knowledge that you get to pass on is very important. As a man, you know, you show how to express empathy as a man. You show how to express patience, you know, your manners, you know. It's not all about money, because if it was, shoot, it'd be easy to apply for an ATM application, because that's just the way life is. But as people, it's way, way more than that. And as men, we need to understand that you are a provider, you will be a provider, you will be a protector, but there is so much more. The life that you have lived is a testament to the experience and to the teachings your parents have given you, have given you guys. And when you get older, you have your own kid, be it at the right time, you know, however it is, you will have an opportunity to pass on your knowledge and experiences to your kids. And as a man, there's no greater joy. One more thing that I saw, and even my dad said with his own mouth, there is nobody in this world that wants you to succeed more than your father. To succeed, like
there's no more. I know that same
to
saying.
do better than them.
The only person in this world that wants you to do better than them is your father.
Obviously, your mother as well, because your mother, she nurtures you and all of that thing, all of those stuff. But your family, they're the only people that want to see you do better than them, because it just comes with the territory. It's bragging rights.
True.
So people always remember that life is very important. It's not endless, but the possibilities are. You have every opportunity in your life to do what is best for you. And as you have heard from my boy Oge, as you've heard from K the Great, as you've heard from me, Leo Edoche, this life, you really have to take the best. You take the best, be the best, and make the best out of the time that you have. And with that, we can call this a day. We can call this recording the end. Thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, Leo. I got my boy Oge. I got my co-host K.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, people. God bless you. Take care and peace.
I can't wait for the new season.
Hambo, yeah, you heard about that show.
They're doing a new season of
The regular show, Gumball, they're really
Adventure Time, and there's one more. Phineas and Ferb.
I'm worried they'll mess it up.
What, for Adventure Time?
For all of them.
No, it's the same people.
The same people, sure. And the same voice actors.
Same voice actors as well. It's JG Quintel. Or CJ Quintel.
Hello.
Something Quintel.
Okay, so it's like the same people, basically.
Ham boning will save your life one day. Somebody's gonna come up and be like, "What? You trying to mug me?"
You did that shit so well.